So why don't we start with the Arts Council? The request was for $58,000 and it's being recommended that they receive $55,000.
And I think everybody knows, but if you look on here, I've provided what they've been given since 2006. I'm a big fan of history to know what's been done in the past. And there's also 2 columns that show the permissive tax exemption, which is us exempting their property taxes. So if they're an organization that we also exempt their property taxes, I just thought that that would be helpful information.
I would suggest maybe we couch it in terms of, is this one that all members of council are comfortable with right now? If not, set it aside and move to the next one. Just until, so we can get through the ones that are...
So if somebody's not comfortable,
then
speak up, and otherwise we'll accept that number and we'll carry on.
I'll speak.
Okay, so we'll set that next time.
I'd just rather leave the large amounts to the end and go through the smaller amounts first. Well, because there's perhaps more room in those organizations for adjustment. In the bigger organization than there is in the smaller one.
Did we want to start with the spring grants and aids first, and that would be 9 for 14?
That's sort of different.
That's a good.
May I ask a question to the corporate officer to make your life even more miserable? We cannot voice an opinion on Tir Na Nog. So shall we now leave and come back, or shall we?
Why don't we do that? We could deal with Tir Na Nog first, and then you don't have to come and go, come and go, come and go.
Good idea.
Maybe sitting in front of that tray is not a good thing.
So we're dealing with Tir Na Nog first.
That was a pretty sneaky way of
Getting up.
getting out of it, yeah.
How do people feel about the request and the recommendation, given that last year
How much did Tir Na Nog receive last year?
9,000.
No.
But how many people are familiar with Tir Na Nog's presence? I know Crow is and Allison.
what?
Tir Na Nog historically have come asking for a certain amount, and they've made very compelling cases each year for getting what they're asking for, that it's not padded and that there's circumstances in the way that their organization is structured and the kind of services they deliver to the community that warrants what they're asking for. And from what I understand, Tir Na Nog is not in a, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, Tir Na Nog is run essentially right on the wire in terms of its sustainability and or financial ability to continue, and the $1,000 reduction in where Tir Na Nog's revenue will make a profound impact on their ability to continue. And just given what Tir Na Nog offers to the community, it's money that goes directly into creating better people. You know, that's ultimately what it does. It's about acting and so on, but its result is dealing with a constituency on the island that doesn't really have a lot of other options in terms of leisure and cultural opportunities. It's largely the teenage crowd on the island, and Tir Na Nog fulfills a huge hole in that for that demographic. And the results that have come out of Tir Na Nog have been, in a large way, year after year, quite spectacular in terms of how they've enabled people to grow. So I would really support Tir Na Nog getting the full amount that they're requesting.
I'm in agreement with you on that. So,
Absolutely.
Can I ask, Jack, you had a change last year because Seymour Bay Foundation had been giving you some kind of a grant annually, and then last year they didn't. Are you getting anything from them this year?
No. As far as I know, they're finished with their granting process. They've run out of money to give away, was my understanding. So we're not receiving. I think last year, 2011, we had one final grant for them in January, and we haven't had money from them since then. We have been attempting to bridge that void with increased fundraising activity, and we've had some success in that respect. So we're putting more energy into just organizational fundraising and having more events like that going on.
The problem with Tir Na Nog's financial statements, if you look at page 90 and 91, is they've got revenues of $81,000 and expenses of $81,000, and $47,000 of those expenses are the mortgage payments, billing insurance, liability insurance, sewer, and water taxes. That mortgage has got, what, another 20 years to go, Jack, or 25?
Yes, that would be
So,
21 years, I think.
yeah, so prior to getting into the mortgage situation with the property, which is maybe a lesson to be learned with the community center, they had some money to pay Jack and Julie, but I guess one of the things as an auditor you're always asked to do is put us, look at an entity as to whether it's what they call a going concern. And this entity would never get that. That would get a qualified report from an auditor because it wouldn't be considered a going concern. I mean, if something happens to Jack and Julie, this whole enterprise will be a house of cards and won't fall down. And so that's my whole problem.
In the meantime, we have to look after it.
It's there and it's
Yeah,
working.
so in the meantime, I guess in granting the grant, we need to know that we're doing it because while they're keeping going, they're teaching the kids a certain skill set that they wouldn't get taught otherwise. But if there's some way to make it work better, working with the recreation department
I
and
would
stuff like
propose
that.
$9,000 increase to $9,000
From the recommendation.
from the recommendation to $9,000.
They asked for 10, did they not?
Yes,
They got 9 left.
they get the 9 last year. I think we should keep it. I mean, I'd like to pop it, but
Yeah, I thought they should have done it at 10 last year. My vote's gonna be for 10.
so 2 10s, 3 10s, you're 9. So
I think.
you guys are gonna have to.
95?
How many 9s do we have?
9, 7.
Are you a 9?
9,750.
We're two all, Jack.
You're the deciding
I
vote.
think the,
Deciding vote.
Are you 9 or are you 10?
I'm gonna be 10.
Well, then you should do a motion that it be set at 10.
So let's set it at 10, okay? Is that okay with everybody?
No,
I think
No,
Councillor Morse would like a motion to that effect.
we need a motion to that effect, because I think it should, I don't want to give anybody any more than they got left.
Well, I think they need more than anybody.
I'll move that we change the amount that we're going to award to Tir Na Nog Theatre School Society to $10,000 grant.
And I'll second
Any further discussion? All those in favor? 3 and 2 again? Okay. All right, so that's done. I just, we're running out of time because we've got other things that we need to do.
We'll get Wolfgang now.
So we can get
Well, I sense there's a bit of a surplus to take perhaps that surplus and see if we can put on some sort of a seminar or something for these smaller groups on how they make better.
Oh, sure, I mean, there's lots of, the United Way puts on exactly that kind of seminar all the time.
or the Vancouver Foundation.
But the United Way doesn't,
I'm just saying, there are a number of different.
that's something the Community Foundation might want to take on as seminar for local not-for-profit organizations on financial statement presentation, budget balancing, and grant writing.
For some of the smaller groups.
Yeah.
So we have Tir Na Nog at $10,000, that's one down.
Okay, and so time-wise now what?
Time, we've already actually run out of time. We're running 15 minutes later. We do have 2 delegations, so I'm not too sure if council wants to continue at this stage.
I think we need to deal with the delegations.
I think we should defer this to either a workshop session dealing just with this.
Perhaps early next week. Perhaps early next week.
Yes.
We do have a recreation,
Sure. So the only applicant who can rest easy today is unfortunately, not unfortunately to Jack, but is Tir Na Nog.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody else for their patience, and we'll let you know on the date of the next session and when the decision is made. Thank you so much. So our next item of business is we have John Green, the chair of Snug Cove House Building Committee regarding Snug Cove House infrastructure requirements.
Are you moving beyond me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Karen. Sorry, John. I was a little precipitous there. We have our Chief Financial Officer regarding the Sophie report and report of council remuneration.
And unfortunately, I'm in Chief Financial Officer's bad books because I totally didn't pay attention to the email she sent out a while back, and I started asking questions last night at midnight about the numbers. So maybe my bad book. So
Well, that wasn't technically last night, Councilor Morse, that was 12:04 a.m. I
this
think.
morning? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
It was this morning you asked questions. So I can find
So, do you want to present your report and then
Yes.
Councilor Morris weighing in with her?
No, that's why you've gone on table or changed the report.
I'm looking for my report, can't even find it. I know, but I can't even find my agenda package anymore. I've mixed everything up. Anyway.
Here, do you want my copy?
No, I think I've got it here, but I don't. Doesn't matter. We are required to produce a statement of financial information. Every government body is required to produce this. So it is as of December 31st, 2011, and it reports all payments to suppliers greater than $25,000 and all payments to employees, all wages greater than $75,000. And a few other things, severance payments, any guarantees that we've done during the year. The second report that's included in there is a report on council remuneration, which is almost identical to what's included in the statement of financial information, except it's got one more column, which is the benefits that are paid to, I don't have it in front of me, so I'm just remembering. It's got benefits and expenses, whereas the statement of financial information does not have benefits in it. So the only benefits that our council is paid is Canada Pension Plan and Pacific Blue Cross benefits, so it's very nominal. I received a question early this morning at 12:04 a.m.
From a councillor.
From a councillor, one of the ones who doesn't need a lot of sleep, asking about the expenses column in the report of council remuneration. And what it is, thank you, I've got parts of it, just not all of it. What it is the way I pick up these amounts is I run a report out of our accounts payable system, and it extracts everything physically paid in the years based on cash payments, not on an accrual system. So it picked up a payment to reserve for, is it for UBCM, Councilor Morse?
To reserve the rooms for this year's UBCM.
For 2012 UBCM, even though it's a 2011 expense. And one card was used to pay for it, and it was Councilor Morse's card to pay for all of council who was indicated they were.
No.
What does it say?
Well, I think
It was the corporate MasterCard.
The
And it said Morse beside it, and so I picked it up, oh, Councilor Morse, and I put it in. So her expenses are overstated by the amount of that, what is it, $400, I think? $600, which needs to be distributed.
She took one for the team.
It shouldn't even have been reported as an
Overstated
expense, because it
what
was a
is that?
deposit on the rooms in Victoria for this year's UBC.
I believe.
All the state overcharged?
No, not at all.
I wish
It's
you
the
would.
deposit for the
We
Aruna
had
and
the
Victoria.
greatest
I
fun
believe-
on earth.
I believe Councillor Morris was giving a grant and aid to the municipality.
Oh.
I don't think Mr. Morris would be pleased with that. I think we give too much of grants and aid as it is.
That's the 1,478.
Yes, it is. So I can amend that.
$800 instead of $1,400.
Exactly, but it will be distributed amongst other council members, so I
Well,
can
it's a
amend that.
deposit, so why should it be?
It's meant to be on a cash paid basis, not on an accrued basis.
So what happens, and then we all get credits if we don't go and don't use the rooms?
I guess so. I'm not too fussed, we can adjust it by $200. Nobody will be, I was just looking at the rules and it does talk about cash paid for, the total amount of any benefits, of expense payments for the councillor made during the year. So I pick up what's cash, what checks did we write or what charges went on the master.
Well, we'll have that debate. on the
Okay, we'll have that debate